Welcome back, Sports Wrap-Up. Bob Koshinski in our WBBZ TV studios. Tonight, the topic, Buffalo Sabres hockey. We've got two gentlemen who have been following the team forever. First, on my immediate left, the Tiny Tot of the Kilowatt, a member of the Buffalo Broadcast Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Art Wander.
That's me.
And next to Artie, we have the hockey man, Steve Manson. I think I called you the hockey guy when we did the open of the show, but a guy, man,
hey,
whatever.
Guy, man.
You're the publisher of West New York Hockey Magazine.
Yes, I am.
And Steve, of course, goes way back with us, back to the Empire Sports Network days and WNSA Radio, but you've been following
I was just a little kid, and you guys were my mentors.
Exactly.
Right. Isn't it amazing how much better we look than him?
Well, we've aged well.
Yes.
Yeah, well, through computer animation, you guys look great. Buffalo Sabres off to a quick start, 2-0. The game Sunday at First Niagara Center. And, you know, I got to say, I'm watching the game, and they fall behind 2-1, and I'm thinking, this team looks just like last year's team. And then suddenly they tied up, Art, and it became a different hockey game.
I don't know whether you can expect Ryan Miller to play the way he did last night. He made some great saves. As you know, I've been a critic of Miller because, face it, he's been a below-average goaltender for the last couple of years. You know, he was 23rd in goals against last year, and he was 21st in save percentage last year. That isn't going to get you into the playoffs, but they're going to have to count on him to be the last stop.
But Sunday's game, Miller played well. The whole team played well from the middle of the second period. We got some highlights from the game. We'll put those up. But, I mean, I really thought that, you know, that it looked like they're off to a sluggish start, but they got it together.
Well, I still don't think it's exciting. It's exciting hockey once you get their legs, Steve.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, everybody keeps talking about the fact that it was the Stafford fight that got him turned around. I don't believe that. What happened was they had two plays, one by Grigorenko, one by Foligno, where they drove to the net, and both times Philadelphia had to take a penalty. It got the momentum back. Philadelphia was pretty strong there in the second period early, and I think it got the momentum back, and that's the one thing I'm seeing in this team that we didn't see last year. How many times did we see Derek Roy gain the line, head towards the net, and, well, there's the fight with Stafford. And it was, don't get me wrong, it was a key moment. The fact that Drew Stafford dropped his gloves is, you know, that's pretty big. But how many times did we see Derek Roy gain the line, head towards the net, and then do that circle move? Okay, this year, Sabre players are driving to the net. We saw it last night in Toronto. We saw it on Sunday. And I think that's a major improvement in this team. And one thing I want to point out, you and I talked last summer, Bob, and I told you that I felt it much stronger up the middle. Well, you remember last year we opened the season with Derek Roy, Ville Leno, and Paul Kostad as our number 1, 2, and 3 center. This year we opened with Cody Hodgson,
Pominville and Vanek.
That line, but and then we also have Tyler Ennis, and our third center is Grigorenko. That's a major improvement over last year.
What's going to happen when Gerby and McCormick come back? Does that make Johan Hest
No, you know what's going to happen, and it happens to every team in the NHL. You're going to have injuries. There's going to be injuries along the way. That's just the way it is in the hockey. And fortunately, for knock on wood for the Sabres, they haven't had any major ones yet. But you're going to have injuries. There's going to be spots for those guys when they're ready to come back to play. But and they got a big decision to make after Sunday's game about Grigorenko. There is two.
Keep him.
Well, you say that, and you know what? Most Sabre fans would say that, and I think there's a huge upside in not keeping him. If you send him back to Quebec, he's the leader on the team down there. He's the leading scorer. He's getting ice time on power play, penalty kill. The team's probably going to drive deep into their playoffs and into the Memorial Cup. Talk about a learning experience for a young man who's only 18 years old. That is a huge learning experience. And the fact is, once the season ends for Quebec, and their regular season ends in early March, and depending how far they go in the playoffs, once their season's over, he can come back to Buffalo, and he doesn't lose any eligibility, any of the entry years, anything like that. And by that time, you're probably going to need another center.
You know, another guy that last night I was eager to watch, John Scott, 6'8", 270, and he got into his first fight and lost it. Boy, he got popped a couple of times.
Well, he got popped. Colton Orr is the tough guy. As we're watching there. Scott,
watch him
when he
get
goes
down.
down to his knees, it's because he took a wild swing, not because he got popped by Orr. I mean, Orr's a good fighter, there's no question, but John Scott's one of the best in the league. And let's not judge John Scott on his first fight of the season. You know what he does? Just by sitting at the end of the bench, he keeps the other team kind of under check.
You know, another thing, Bob.
You don't mind if I interject at any point?
Hey, why not? Why not?
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go right
You
ahead.
did. The other surprising thing, you know, as this thing with the collective bargaining agreement kept going on and on and on, I am surprised that Gary Bettman is still the commissioner of the National Hockey League. This guy should have been out years ago.
This is old ground, but Art Love, this is a topic. If Artie wants to talk about anything,
read his stuff.
Gary Bettman is his #1 foil.
I read his stuff, and I understand where he's coming from, but let's be totally honest. Gary Bettman's only doing what the owners tell him to do. I mean, there's 30 guys in the room there, and I guarantee you if they had told him to settle this thing in November, he would have settled it in November. He's just, you know, he's the mouthpiece of the owners. So you can't just lay the blame on him.
Well,
but you're not buying that, are you, Art?
No way, because face it, 3 stoppages in play, 1 season completely wiped out in the 20 years that he's been the commissioner. I think it was February of '93 when he was named the commissioner. And since then, he's made so many changes, brought in so many teams, I think, to the negative.
Yeah, but you keep saying it's him. There's
why doesn't he
there's
quit?
an executive board. Why would he quit? The guy's making $8 million a year. He's got just got a new extension. He's got an executive board of Jeremy Jacobs and Snyder from Philadelphia. Well, yeah, but they own the league. They are the owners. Yeah. And, you know, when you own, you own.
Now, Terry Pagula, when he took over the team and bought the team, said that, you know, he's not in it for the money. If he wanted to make money, he would buy a drill for oil. But he voted for the lockout.
And you expect all 30 owners to feel the exact same way he does. And Pagula said on Saturday at his press conference that he went along with what the league did. Now, of course, he had to say that, but the fact is, publicly, that's what he's saying.
Yeah. Well, he also gave Regier an extension, which is another sore point, because he admitted that there's been a lot of negatives stated about Regier. So why give him an extension? I mean, Regier is the guy.
All right, hold it right there, because
What?
we have another segment coming.
What?
And we're going to talk about Darcy Regier and a lot of other things about the Buffalo Sabres, all right?
I'm ready.
He just got him started.
That's the key. You don't get him started. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Art Wander and Steve Manson right after this on Sports Wrap-Up.